Hi guys, MadzookJoe here, a performance enhancement and personal development coach. And I want to talk to you a little bit about this COVID-19 thing. So everyone has been transitioned indoors, and there's all kinds of programs and all kinds of training philosophies that are out there that are coming online, and YouTube, Instagram, these things are more and more prevalent. So what I want to touch on just a bit is what's happening in America, and what it's like to be an American and of a certain age and watch these historical times that we live in. So I want to speak to you from my heart, my opinion, and I hope that if you agree with it, you'll share it all, and if you don't necessarily agree with it, then I understand. You feel free to comment however you so choose. But in this unique time, I want to say this, that I'm speaking, I've had to take notes to write myself because I couldn't memorize this whole speech, and I wanted to make sure that I get it correct. All right, so if you see me look away or glance away at my computer, it's because I need the aid. All right, so I'm an American, and I'm particularly speaking to the American people right now. All right, anyone else that chooses to listen from around the world. However, my comments are directed solely towards the American leadership, the government, the federal government, the state government, municipalities, businesses, both big and small, the American worker, the current American citizenry as a whole, both legal guests and permanent or part-time residents, and students that are in America. So I'm speaking to America right now. I hope the world listens, but as an American, I have a right to speak about my own country. I don't necessarily have a right to speak about the leadership of other countries. That's for those citizens of that country to decide to do. So, with that said, keep in mind that the comments that I make are directed at the American leadership, at the American business person, and at the American worker. All right? All right. The sanity and explanation for a total lockdown and mandated business closures must be questions for the totality of the evidence-based reality. Sure, much of the current professionals that are out there now, Dr. Fauci, Dr. Bricks, some others, are suggesting that we do not know. We just don't know what will happen with this pandemic. Therefore, we must be ultra-conservative because of their medical perspective that we should be scared. Did America land on the moon? Were we scared? Was there a lot of unknowns that we faced? Have we done bigger, bolder, better things? Have we risked our lives? Have we risked our lives in wars to liberate or save other places? Have we done many things in our own businesses that have been a pure gamble for our own health, our family and loved ones, risk health, financial security? The answer is yes to all the above. So while I appreciate the medical experts, we must also look at, as a man of science myself and a person that has read many research papers, we should look at what the evidence-based research tells us. All right? So we can't just automatically take the ultra-conservative position because there's mountains of written instruments already that exist of what we do know. So we can't just rely on what we don't know and be afraid. Let's look at what we do know. Social isolation is not healthy. Many other diseases are not being attended to right now. Economic damage is reaching epic proportions and surpassing what we do know has happened historically during other times of a pandemic, a war, a market crash, depression, the financial system kind. Although yes, the psychological kind of depression is also receiving record numbers of increase based again on evidence that we know. Not that we surmise, as in what these so-called health experts are now doing, these virologists are saying about COVID-19. If we go back to what we know, should we minimize the risk? Yes. Should we minimize risk by doing what we also know? Yes. We should live healthier lives. So long-term and short benefits abound. Too many to mention here. You've heard them all already a million times, I'm sure. Improve our medical systems and our absolute horrible insurance plans. Obamacare is a disaster. Forget the politics. Take your head out of your butt and realize that that system sucks. Our insurance system in America sucks. Let's fix it. Medicaid sucks. Anybody that uses it knows. They step up, they try to get something, it gets denied, or it's 90 days to even see a doctor. How in the hell is this going to help people for preventative measures? Preventative measures that aren't even allowed to be looked at because guess what? The American health system won't pay for them. All right? So Obamacare and Medicaid literally deny preventative practices that are known to work. Again, what we do know. And also have turned down procedures and payments for other medical needs, but they've been doing this for decades in the case of Medicare and in the case of Obamacare for the last several years. Control immigration better. We have to know what contaminants come in. We cannot just allow things like tuberculosis, for instance, to just run rampant across our border, right? We've got to control the immigration. No sanctuary cities. No tolerance for illegal immigration. Come in clean, come in legal, get screened. Is that too much to ask? I mean, we're not saying we don't want immigrants. America was founded on immigrants. We know this. We also know that thousands upon thousands of hundreds of thousands of diseases are brought in through illegal immigration. It must stop. Mandate that people that are asking, the same people that are asking for $15 an hour because they want a livable wage, they want to work. Sure, I agree. People should be paid a livable wage if they're competent. All right? You want $15 an hour, and let alone you can't tell me where the paper plates are. But I haven't ever walked into a Walmart, a Kmart, which is now defunct, a McDonald's for that matter, and the place been clean. If we want to live in a clean environment and minimize our health risk, then we must mandate that these people do their job. Don't just give the worker this money, right? You want the economy to survive? Great, pay a living wage. I agree. But make the person competent to earn that living wage. If they're not competent to earn the living wage, then they're going to have to figure out a way to become competent to earn a living wage. This is the American way. This is what has created the America that rose to such greatness. It is the way it is in a capitalist society. Should we demand competence from our leaders? The same confidence, right? Should we make them clean and disinfect their halls, right? Not only from the benches and the tables that they sit on, but from the garbage that they actually speak and the way they hold up funding bills, all right? Should we demand competence from our leaders to fight and protect our legal rights as are provided to us in our founding Constitution, the very document of law that created our country? We often proclaim to be the world leader because of our laws and our freedoms. What the hell just happened to that? How are we tolerating this as a free people? If America wants to claim to be the world leader and the beacon of freedom, which it often does make that claim, should it not then lead its people by securing and protecting their freedoms at all times? Health is a risk from many things. It is an individual freedom to protect ourselves. Yes, when a plague or something unknown hits us, we should, of course, go into a lockdown mode, a preventative mode, for a bit, to secure the science and to report the potential. We know the herd immunity reality. We know this. This is evidence-based reality. We know the fact that more people die from other illnesses at higher rates every year, even ones that we have a vaccine for now currently, than they do the COVID-19. We know that the vaccines are not mandated and can be exempted by claims of religious freedom. But the same freedom does not apply if you want to go to church, the mosque, or the temple today in the land of the free and the home of the brave, at least by proclamation, but not really evidence today by action now, is it? Why are we giving money to the banks and to the rich and to the colleges that are failing us, failing our youth, failing our society, failing humanity? Why do we not use the same bailout money, the trillions of dollars, to improve the economy, create jobs, build roads, build bridges, create the high-speed rail system on an existing infrastructure, clean the urban blight? Not only will you make the place healthier by making it more hygienic, you will also make it more psychologically conducive for workplace. Build city gardens, right? Urban blight is so prevalent in the cities today, everywhere. Clean it up. You want to live in a clean place? Clean it up. Clean the parks, create new trails and green space, usable to the people in the areas that they don't have any. Provide fitness training and health coaching, nutritional guidance, and mental skills development programs through the local municipalities, parks and rec systems, and civic organizations. Stop handing money to the banks and the corporations, showing us how fraud and cronyism work. We know all of this already. We've seen it for decades. We have seen it time and time again. Auto bailouts, housing crisis, too big to fail, etc., etc. We heard it so many times, and yet we've seen so little results from the trillions of dollars that we've handed the same people over and over again. Dig wells that will use a lot of oil too, by the way, for the machinery that we have to use to dig those wells. Enhance our power grid. We know it's failing. Enhance it. Let the Boy Scouts be Boy Scouts again. Let the Eagle Scout projects resume. Take political correctness out of the equation. Call it the Scouts of America and make it gender inclusive if you want to. But bring these organizations back, these civic-minded action projects. Bring these back to the people in some way or another. Allow them to care and participate in their own well-being. America has a freedom of religion. Stop enforcing your mindset onto others. Quit saying God did this, God did that. Good people can and do disagree on a God or any type of deity practice. Let's practice humanity rather than expect everyone to believe in our supernatural being of choice by mandating a compliance or agreement to such entities. All you do is turn people off politically. All you do is make yourself look the fool. There is no valid or scientific explanation to the plagues or to modern-day sickness other than man-made. This is from experimenting with a plan to create a destructive mechanism. Be real, be honest about this issue rather than create confusion in your own beliefs. This is not a punishment to mankind or a will of a deity. This situation is the explicit result of a man-made project that went terribly wrong. Fix that. No excuses, no rationalized bullshit. Fix the damn problem by eliminating the source of the creation. Close the unethical and corrupt labs that are operating around the world. At a minimum, do not fund them and stop supporting them. We all know the numbers of death in the USA each year from the flu. Again, we've heard it time and time again in this particular argument. We have a flu shot. That is optional every year. It seems that there's a new strain that the old shot doesn't work to mitigate. We can't safeguard against the flu. Is COVID-19 not a type of flu? If we do find a vaccine for this, the COVID-19, will it now become the only worldwide mandated vaccine? How will we ensure all countries and people, all the rich, all the poor, the higher class, the lower class, the ranking systems that take place in other countries, how will we make sure that everyone receives a shot? And if everyone doesn't receive a shot, isn't there someone out there capable of spreading it? Or do the people that get the shot, are they automatically immune to it? Again, we do not know. What science suggests that the shots will work on, much less on every type of human. Do they work just on males? Better on females? Is there geographical influences? Does the sun help? Is there ethnic influences? What type of comorbidities does that human have? What type of lifestyle does that person live? Does a vaccine stop them from eating 12 Big Macs a month? No. Does it stop hypertension? Does it stop stress in the countries that live in a high-stress environment, specifically America? Does a vaccine prevent that? No. So the comorbidity is where the higher death rate comes on a low death rate comparison. So what agency will enforce this mandated vaccine? Will it be the U.S.? Do we now police the world? Is it the U.S. police departments? Is it the Army? What will we do about those same illegal aliens that didn't get a shot, that are hiding in a sanctuary city, and we can't currently even ask them for their ID? We're going to tell them to pull their pants down and show us where the shot went? Why do we allow people to enter the country unscreened? Tuberculosis killed 1.5 million people in 2018. Yeah, you heard me right. 1.5 million people in 2018. It has a vaccine. And yet, according to the WHO, the fabulous World Health Organization, 10 million people a year get tuberculosis. It has a vaccine. 1.5 million a year die from it. We're not even close to 10 million catching COVID-19 yet, and we certainly aren't remotely close to 1.5 million deaths. But yet, we've been locked down for a couple months. Businesses have come to a complete halt. We've wrecked the American way as we know it. We had more cases of tuberculosis last year. Of course the flu, but you already knew that. So why do we let people in our country unscreened? Tuberculosis kills that many people, right? COVID's not even remotely close. STDs are rampant. Human behavior does not change. Cures are available, but shame, doubt, or fear don't let people go and get checked for STDs. What will the COVID do differently? I mean, if you have a fever now and you go to get checked, do you get placed under house arrest for the next 14 to 28 days? Oh wait, everyone's kind of on a house arrest now, aren't they? You can't even go get your hair cut in some places. They fine you for going out to bring your girlfriend soup. But what if she had just a simple common cold and needed the love and the touch of her boyfriend? Nope, not allowed in America anymore. With or without the actual disease, that is. Smoking is known and evidenced to cause far more deaths in America than COVID has caused worldwide. Yet people still smoke, and they do so claiming it is their right. It is their right to make a free choice. So they'll make a right claim, I can smoke, but no one's standing up and saying, I'm going out. Because, that would be against the law. So COVID takes this right away from all of us that are working. We have no choice. We don't have the free will to say, I want to go to work today. But smokers can pollute the air, cause secondhand smoke death, and inflict personal death and cause medical system overloads because they have the right to do so. It's not a guess. It's not speculation. It's not a model. This is a fact evidenced for the last 50 plus years. We know this, yet we tolerate it. A healthy person today doesn't even have the right to go to the beach or to get their hair cut. All being rationalized by a cognitive distortion called catastrophizing or magnification. 2 DSM-5 symptoms for a myriad of mental illnesses and affliction diagnosis. So if you come into a counselor and you are the one that's committing magnification or catastrophizing, oh, Chicken Little, sky is falling, like Dr. Fauci and Dr. Bix, you would be diagnosed with a mental disorder. Yeah, that's right. You would be, but they are not. All right, so we allow them to rationalize this with fear, fallacy, and if-then conversation, and cognitive distortions as their guidance. No evidence. Minimal anecdotal evidence at best. If I turned left instead of right, then this would happen, I think. If I did not swim that day, my friend would have not been eaten by a shark. If I buy a lottery ticket, I will become a millionaire. If I only could choose the red pill instead of the blue pill, my life would have been so different. If I do not eat, I will surely lose weight. Sense of anyone? If my auntie had a set of balls, she'd have really been my uncle. The fallacy of if. If we didn't lock down the country, then millions and billions more could have died. Yeah, that's right. They could have died. Millions. You've all heard it. But what about the reality of what did happen when we did lock down? Oh, and the statistical models they use to say if, then, the ones created by those humans, they've been wrong more times than not, haven't they? That's evidence. That's what we call evidence-based reality. What about the model for herd immunity? Evidence-based reality. It works. Since death rates are low with COVID, should we ensure more death and destruction by locking people down with what we know will cause more death, rather than creating safer, more realistic options for both improved health and running economy? Should we not allow exercise? Sure, social distancing is great. We can say, hey, come on, you guys got to stay apart from each other, right? If we keep getting sick like that. I mean, places like New York, that they're going crazy there, right? When there's something like that, an outbreak in that place, you have to take a little bit different measure. We don't have to shut down Nebraska because New York is having a big problem. You know, New York's a little bit dirtier than Nebraska, in case you haven't been to either one. All right. So you see that little word if. It has such a large meaning. How about we flip the coin? Let's use this side of the coin. If we do not get back to work, then we will die. If we continue to perform unhealthy and illegal bioweapon testing and then lie to people about it, we will certainly... Oh well. You get it now, don't you? I mean, who actually knows what if? I can make a model about it if you'd like. Leaders and business people of America, you must open. You must put people back to work. American people must hold each other accountable. Remain safe. Operate under good practices of hygiene, safety, health, and wellness. Stop being politically correct or worrying about offending people. That's not what made America great, and that's not what will keep us great. We can't overact to fallacy. Do the right thing and hold each other accountable to do the right thing. It is wholly up to the American people now. We must enforce our rights. We must demand our principles of right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness once again.